What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. I want to talk a little bit about the community here because I think we're really at a crossroads. And I think a lot of the crossroads came from frustration. Let me first say, if you're waiting or you're thinking that my approval is coming for any football game, you're wrong. If you think that I'm here to sell you any football game, then you're wrong. And I'll tell you right now, I don't want you to buy any game that you feel isn't for you, regardless of who made it. The problem is that some of you feel that I ask you to, or some of you feel that I solicit to you to purchase these games. And that's just not the case. If you don't see a value in the game, then that's okay. But what you can't do, or what we can't do as a community, is to pretend that games haven't improved. Even if a game goes from the worst game you've ever seen to the second worst game you've ever seen, something changed to make it better. Now, I've said to countless people, we're holding at least the independent developers at too high of a standard. Because the logic that so many people have is All Pro Football 2K is a PS3 game. So if these games can't be on that level, then they're automatically not a PS3 caliber game. NFL 2K5 was a PS2 game. So if these games aren't at that level, they're automatically not a PS2 game. So they must be an Atari game. They must be a Game Boy Advance game, a Jaguar game, a Commodore 64. It must be able to be run on a typewriter. This game, I want to kill Madden. And because it doesn't, I'm going to be frustrated. Those games are never going to live up to that standard. The only thing that we can do is look at what they currently offer and suggest improvements. And if it's not good enough to earn your purchase now, hope that what you're suggesting is going to make it one day worth your purchase. That's all any game developer is trying to do. Respond to criticism, improve their product, and earn a consumer. And if it was as simple as just coming out and saying, this play sucks, my videos would be seconds long, not minutes. No one is going to make the perfect football game for you, which is not the perfect football game for me or someone else that watched this video 5 minutes before or after, unless you can tell someone what your perfect football game is. And for that matter, if we haven't learned anything as a community, we should know now that simulation means different things to different people. Different game developers, different game changers, different game programmers, different game designers. It's also a moving target. Football has evolved during the lifespan of our community. And in that, there's things that have changed. Rules, processes, plays, positions. And that's constantly changed the definition of simulation football. Now, one thing that we know for sure is we have two independent developers. And our perception has to change a little bit. Because you already know, EA Sports, they've came out and they've said, it's never enough to satisfy the connected franchise community. So if you've got the largest game company of the three openly saying, our changes are never enough, what message is that sending to the independent titles? A team of 2 to 5 people. How are they supposed to meet that standard? For people that think my channel has taught you that we need to hold them to Madden's level of gameplay, I certainly don't know where that came from. We need to have a standard, but we also need to understand that it's going to be a slow and frustrating process. But what we can't do is start to alienate developers. Keep in mind, we could be back 5 years ago, where we know for certain there's no other game coming out, where the only thing we know for sure is EA is the only one making a football game. And for those that say, well, wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't it be great if 2K had the license? No. At this point, and I've said this a few years ago, I don't want any company, I don't care who it is, to go back to exclusivity. Because us as a gaming community, whether you love or hate EA, there has been a group of us that have suffered because there's only one football game releasing, and we don't deserve to go back to that space for the people that love EA or the people that hate it. Now, I do want to say, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus here, but I think it's also important that we are very transparent with how we deal with developers. And I want to just show you an example here. Very well-known commentator in the community. You see this tweet, ran in to him at EA Play, had some great things to say about the animations and gameplay. He said he told the developers, it's great, don't change anything. This is in relation to Madden 19. If you were going to say to a developer, this game is great, don't change anything, you have to stand by that. So when this person comes out and says, by looking at Madden NFL 19 gameplay, and this is after EA Play, you understand, he's understanding the meaning of work in progress. And he understands that it's not a finished product. And he knows the game is still being tuned and balanced. But you're still going to have a few people that say the game is finished. Understand the mixed message that sends. Because you are a representative of the community. You were appointed by the community. The support, the views, the likes, the subscriptions that people give you. And if people are going to trust you with that opinion cannot change when you're in the presence of a company. And this, more than anything else, damages our community. If you are going to stand there and tell a developer, your game is great, don't change a thing, you understand you're speaking for a large majority of your viewers. And when those viewers come out and say, this game isn't where it is, you don't have the ability to backpedal and say, well, you're judging an unfinished product. Because you judged an unfinished product in a completely different way. And I don't have any problem with Hollywood Sports. I think he's a great guy. I love what he does on his channel. But I thought that these two tweets were very symbolic of some of the things that happen. If I don't like something about a game and you don't like something about a game, I bring it back to every developer. I don't worry about the friendships I have with developers. Because quite frankly, these games could be gone tomorrow and I won't have anything to talk to these people about. I am here to help try to get the best football game possible. You are here hopefully to watch that play out. But what we have to stop doing is breaking everyone that tries to come into our community down, or building everyone that tries to come into our community up, and find a level ground where we're appreciative of what's being done, we look toward the improvements that need to be made, and we constructively talk about it. And this includes me. I mean, I'm guilty of doing some of this stuff as well. But I feel like we're at a crossroads here, where we have to start to begin to have this open and honest communication about where the game is. It can't be about, you hate EA, you love EA. It can't be about, well, you own these companies, you're in bed with these developers, this, that, and the other. We need to take it back to the core. Simulation football. What we want in a football game. Here's what's right, here's what's wrong. Whoever wants to improve this, we're willing to support your product. I know it's been a long video, but I appreciate you guys checking it out. I'd love to know your thoughts on this, and you know that I'll be back in the week with more commentary.